so long is like alchemy.
Monday night, Oracle Arena. The news late was Mike Conley was a scratch, which kind of took some of the intrigue away from this matchup. Shelvin Mack, known Warrior killer, would fill in. But what y'all may not know is, when he's not playing for the Grizz, he moonlights as SpongeBob at birthday parties. He just has the perfect frame for it. All right, I'm messing with y'all. KD, Steph, everybody getting ready here in those jerseys, man. I think all of us feel the same way about them. Just get out of them. Early on, check out Loon with what I like to call a hezzy stumble and gets the and one. Weird finish, but I thought Looney held his own against Marc Gasol on this night. Clay, early on, I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. The media is now starting to pick up on Clay's shot attempts. He leads the league in shot attempts. Look at him big boy the rebound and then flip this up without a thought on his mind. But that wasn't the case in this one. We'll see as the game goes on. Take a look at Jaren Jackson Jr. Look at his shot trajectory. You see how low it is? And that's why KD was able to affect it from so far away. And then this is when you know you probably shouldn't be a starter in the NBA. Watch KD guarding Kyle Anderson. Not even looking at him. He's just no threat at all. So Memphis very offensively challenged, especially with Conley out of the lineup. Mini story on this night was watch how hard Steph works to get this shot. It's just too much. I know it's fancy, it's innovative, the inside out, right? But how about just an old school pick and roll and Steph can get the three ball? I think Steph's working too hard to have to get some of these 3-point attempts. And look at slow as molasses is like, I guess I'll shoot it. The one Grizzly I was impressed with was Garrett Temple and just his ability to play big. First he challenges Clay at the rim and Clay's like, no sir. But he had a couple blocks, couple feisty plays. Temple's a nice player hidden out in Memphis. Now Looney, just rhythm, dribble, and shoot the ball. But when shooting is plan B or C, it's very unlikely to go in, especially the caliber shooter that Looney is. And then the classroom was open on the rookie. The crossover, the scoop, and the finish. He's wearing the KDs, so he learned him something. Here was an example of Clay not forcing things, and he's starting to reel it in. I think he's being spoken to behind the scenes. You see, that's a shot he's been forcing up. He waits for Steph, the trailer, and gets him a nice lane and layup with the left hand. Honestly, I thought our defense was better than our offense, and there was a lot of these. A lot of strip and rips in the paint with the heavy post-oriented offense of Memphis, forcing 16 turnovers. You're going to see Temple, again, I don't know what his wingspan is. It's got to be over 7 foot. And then I'm sure Conley kind of was a symptom of their turnovers as well. And there's Joakim Noah, 33 years old, finding himself back in the league. Can he stay healthy? There's another rip, and I just thought it was scouted well. I thought they were well prepared going into this to deal with their post-action. And you're going to see Dylan Brooks, who's out, who wasn't part of the trade. Now here's Marshawn Brooks, who they tried to send to Phoenix. And then Memphis, obviously, at this point, got cut all the way out of the deal. Ariza to Washington. Livingston, the kick out. Jerebko continues to splash, man. KD and Bell, high pick and roll. Bell with the roll, and then he gets hung like he's in a Tarantino film. Front of the rim. Take another look at it. Now, I think he just relaxed his body too soon. The ball doesn't slip out of his hands, but when you don't keep your body tense in the air, you tend to lose elevation sooner. I've talked about him not looking as bouncy this year. I'm still not sure if it's physical or mental, because you can just mentally not be as aggressive, and it can make it look like you're less athletic. KD doing work, Jerebko banks open. Here's another turnover. We get out in transition, and you know the saying I like to use, less is more. And we were talking about Steph doing that to start the season. Now, not so much. He seems to be complicating things. And then this play here to the corner, every team is fully aware of it. The looks aren't as clean. Yes, we can get threes that way, but I think we need to show a new wrinkle, and we do later on in this game. There's our guy, Caspi. And what do you know? He showed up on Ugly Sweater Night and had himself a game at Oracle Arena. Iguodala and Livingston both returned to the lineup. And Iguodala couldn't miss. No, he didn't miss. He was 3 of 3 from downtown. You see Clay. Clay's been on one this year. Did you peep the interview in Sacramento, right? Clay's just like stunting. I'm always picking on Draymond in some of his offensive decisions. I like this. This is vintage Draymond. Coast to coast. He doesn't get the finish, but I'll take it. I'd like to see more of it. Be more aggressive. It'll open up things for our shooters in the long run. This is the real problem with Memphis. You play Mark all these minutes, he'll never be comfortable guarding the perimeter. He's going to get eaten up there. But watch this footwork. Reverse pivot, boom, back spin. With his size, that momentum he generates with the reverse pivot and spin, it's unguardable. His footwork is straight nasty. Steph, just not sure where he wants to get his shots, runs to the corner. This time it's a clean look, but like I said, off. And I think just having to work a little hard for those shots. I think he realized it as well, so let's just keep it simple. Pull up from 30. And that's his 15,000 point, so he gets a little celebration here at the arena. Now Clay's going to get in on it, and like I had mentioned before, he reeled it in this game. He only had 11 shot attempts, and it resulted in him being much more efficient. They tried this a couple times, an early like rim run for Draymond, and then look at him try the KD. It didn't go down. I just thought it was interesting that they purposefully did that several times in this game. And then Quinn Cook, this is just not a pass he would have made last season. Not that one, the second one, right? And so he's growing as a playmaker incrementally. Ig just can't believe he made it. McKinney to Loon. Look at the footwork. And this is a Loon type game. I talk about athletes, styles, and fights, right? This more plotting Memphis team is perfect for Looney. Only had 7 points on the night. Clay, early trigger and transition. Kinney, though, he got him. You can tell KD wants to become a better playmaker, and I wonder it's because, you know, the comparisons to Bron, that would be the knock, right? LeBron's the superior playmaker. More excellent post defense, no help needed. Clay with the dig down, and then you're going to see Draymond go coast to coast. He took 8 shots. He only made 2 of them, but I like him shooting more, but contextually, they've got to be good shots for him. I thought most of them were all right. Drives to the basket, heading downhill. Third quarter, Memphis came out, tried to show a little life. It's Molasses, the floater. They hit a 3 ball, and then, you know, so it was like 3 or 4 consecutive possessions. You're going to see the jumper here from Temple, and everybody thought there was going to be a timeout, and Kerr was like, nah, just get up, whatever that meant. And it was almost like a lack of respect for this Grizzlies team without Conley, right? The Warriors, I don't think, ever felt threatened in this game, and you're going to see later on, they really kind of start to toy with Memphis. Clay answers with the fadeaway baseline jumper, and then Steph, slow down. Now speed up, gas pedal. Hits him with the stop and go in transition. Another example of Clay making the adjustment and understanding he's been chucking, right? Here he is. Nah, Steph's wide open, and I'm glad he got rewarded for it. So it just encourages him to do that more often. And now here's the counter to that corner action. And of course it works much better when KD is the screen setter, but they're going to have to look for this a little more often to free Steph back up, because right now both defenders are selling out on Steph in the corner. KD the hammer. Take another look at it. Slips it just at the right time off Steph's gravity. Talking about Steph working for his shots early on and his shot selection, I think it got much better as the game went on. You see him with the nasty finish on the other side of the rim. But given the game never really being competitive, we didn't get the big outburst from him we usually get at Oracle. And then Steve, we were talking about rhythm and passing and shot pockets. There's KD putting it right in Repko's pocket where he can just step, catch, and shoot, knocking it down. And then here's a point where we started to play around. It got, you know, it wasn't like disrespectful, hard foul type of stuff, but you could tell they were losing interest in the game, and they were kind of just like seeing what they could do. And whenever you disrespect the game, the gods get you. There's the travel call. KD quietly is averaging a block a game now. You see him get Gasol from the weak side, or really the strong side. 2 in this game. You see him coast to coast and finish. But you know, the season, it's funny. These guys listen to the media, because Slater and some of the boys called him out on his lack of shot blocking, and now he's up to a block a game. Bell blocked again at the rim. Now, I'm going to hold it here. Look at the angle that Bell is at. He's understanding the slip. He knows Gasol has to show on Durant, so that positioning is vital for this pass to be right there, and the extra one, S dot on your head top. And then I loved this redemption play for Bell, which took a lot of guts. We saw him get hung on the rim. He got roofed by Temple. Now he's got a 7-footer chasing him down at the rim. And what does he do? He goes up fearlessly with 2 hands and finishes for the and one. That had to feel nice for Bell. Moving forward, I'd like to see him elevate with 2 hands more often. We already know where I'm going with that. But the problem is, as a basketball player, when you go up with 2 hands, you leave yourself a lot more vulnerable. With 1 hand, you can fend off contact, and you can gain your balance easier. With 2 hands, you're very vulnerable in the air, so that is the downside of that. KD, nasty. And then they cut right to this. I was kind of tired of this players only rumbling and sweater talk. We did get a gem at the end of this thing, but they were annoying me with their cut-ins and inserts of stuff that no one wanted to see. But like I said, the game wasn't competitive. You see Livingston kind of clowning around with the dribble and the turnover. So I think that they just were trying to fill airtime. And then this kid, Javon Carter, the rookie out of West Virginia, you always see these rookies that look like they're 34, right? He played 8 years at West Virginia, knocks down the 3. He looks like a player. He looks like he'll stick. Not a starting caliber guard, though. How about Kerr starting the fourth with Steph out there, and he finds the 3-ball. But the real story of this fourth quarter was this man, Omri Caspi. Mark, I know it brings tears to your eyes. Look at the spin move and finish. He was talking to the bench, and it was almost like he felt some type of way playing against this Warriors team. Here's more Draymond in the post. And I'm not going to kill him for it, man. It's something. Attempt something. Let's try to see some sort of growth offensively, especially in a game where we have it under control. There's the extra pass, and it's Iguodala, the positive death. He said, shut up, out. Now, the mantra of Memphis, grit and grind, they're not going to stop playing. So they're playing hard here. I just, I had already mentioned in my previous video, like Kerr loves to leave these guys in blowouts, whether we're up or down. Draymond, the non-response after the non-call. Jerebko, 4 of 7 from downtown for 16 points. And maybe that had Caspi up in his feelings a little bit too, like the new you on the Warriors getting it done. But he had himself a game, and he looked so much more aggressive. You see him going to the cup there. Clay and the starters still in under 4 minutes with the fake dagger in transition, as if it was really needed. I don't know. And then how about this? Kerr couldn't help himself post-game. He was like, well, if Omri would have shot like this for us, and then kind of tried to moonwalk out of that statement, realizing where it would have went, if he would have went on with it. Bell losing his footing, but he's going to actually get the nice little post finish. And I wonder, there hasn't been as many opportunities in garbage time for him to find his way. Now, this was hilarious. You can tell the fellas love to spend time with Candace Parker. And contextually, she's not talking about this, but they're like, yeah, let's go half on a baby, Candace.
I guess the real question is, are we going to get a players-only baby?
Oh, yeah, for sure. This team, yeah.
Easy don't play now. He got that covered.
Them old fools all in on building a basketball baby with Candace now, man. But anyway, this wasn't the most fun of games to watch, but the Warriors need these. They need these low-tension games throughout the year sprinkled in just to break up this grind of heading to 5 straight, right? Utah Wednesday. I'm out, y'all.